I am Paul Campbell, and this is the Toben Podcast.
And we've just got the confirmation that this meeting is now being recorded. And we're here again with another edition of the Toben Podcast. But today, it's a lot better than it was earlier this morning. You know, earlier this morning, it was kind of gloomy, kind of shitty, kind of, not sunny. But now you're looking outside, you see sun shower. As you can tell, the glare from the sun is beating on my bald head. But right now, I'm with Paul Campbell. What's up, man?
Another day, another dollar. 2-in-1 day. We love it. We got a special guest today. A lot of similarities. Let's get this show started.
You want to be clear about the similarities?
No.
This guest today, similar to the other guests we had earlier today, he is somebody that I've known for a very long time. He actually saw me grow up. You know what I'm saying? He taught me how to play basketball when I was younger. When I was in grade 7, grade 8. He was in grade 12, I want to say, I think, or maybe grade 11. I'm not exactly sure how old he was, but, from BJCC days, he's definitely somebody that I always literally looked up to. He's a former Division I basketball player. He's a current pro basketball player. This is Paul Campbell. How you doing, man?
I'm good, yo. I'm good. How you guys doing?
Hey, man, we're good, man. We appreciate you coming on the show and giving us some time today. But Paul, I want to ask you, we want to jump right into the show. We want to ask you, what does basketball mean to you?
Basketball is just creates opportunities, yo. I don't know, for me, basketball was something that always gave me a chance to kind of find myself, I guess, and help me kind of get out there and try to see what I could do. Pretty much, yeah. Opened a lot of doors. Yeah, it's taking me all over the world now, so yeah, that means a lot to me. You're
100% right about that, man. But we want to also know as well, when did you realize you love basketball and wanted to make a living from it? Because not everybody can do that. You know what I'm saying? Not everyone can do that.
Yeah. I'd say I was probably about 16. I had only started playing maybe 3 years before that, and I was getting more into it. And my coach kind of told me, yo, if you take this more seriously, you could go a lot further with it if you really tried. And yeah, it just kind of went from there, yo.
That's what's up. Hey, like I was about to say before, not a lot of people are able to really accomplish and be able to play at the pro basketball level. Doesn't matter how tall you are, how small you are, you know what I'm saying? From people, if you really want something, you just go grind for it and you really just go keep pushing for it. Both you guys were lucky enough to play pro basketball, and you're still currently playing, Paul. But, obviously not many people can. But I want to ask you about the game of basketball. It's a national game, especially now with the Raptors winning the championship a couple years ago and it blowing up here in Canada. Do you think that will continue to grow in other countries, or will it stay stagnant?
I think it's going to keep growing, to be honest with you. Over here in Australia, basketball is, I've been here for 5 years now, and it's just gone up every year I've been here. So, now the popularity, especially the NBA is such a global game now, right? So you could be anywhere in the world, you could just watch basketball. And I think for kids are just gravitating to it because it's entertaining, and I think they see that they see stuff that they like and they just want to try to do it themselves, right?
And that's fact. And one thing I want to ask you, especially you say you touched upon kids just now. You said kids are trying it, they're trying to work towards it and they gravitate to it. But you got into coaching for a bit when you came back home in between contracts. What did you find difficult about coaching?
I think the biggest thing is just trying to connect with the kids on their level. Yeah. Right. So it's I think a lot of coaches sometimes try to they kind of have their own way of doing it, but you have to be flexible with this stuff, especially with kids, yo. Right? So just trying to connect with them and making the game feel more understandable to them, I guess. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Fair enough. No, that's completely fair. But I want to ask you though, in 5 minutes or less, maybe more, if you really want to elaborate and have a much funnier story, can you give us a funny coaching moment or a lesson that you had?
A funny coaching moment or lesson that I had? Oh, man. Yeah, okay, yeah, my bad. You got me on the spot here. I don't know. I was coaching at my old high school at Northview, and especially a lot of times with high school kids, getting them to commit to going to class and going to practice and all these things all the time. Kids will always want to come to practice because they know they're going to play. But then when you tell them they got to go to school too, they're like, oh, well, it's a balance, right? So I know I had a few kids that had a hard time going to school. like they just didn't want to be committed to it. So we tried to be consistent with them, making sure they would come, and then sometimes they would say they would go and they would skip, end up just showing up for practice. So it's not really funny. I made these guys I made them write lines talking about why I need to be responsible and show up to school and things like that. It was pretty old school at the time doing it, but it's funny. I made them do that one time, and yeah, I don't know. They were making sure they're going to class after that, so it must have worked, right?
That is old school. I like it though.
Yeah. So yeah, not much, not overly funny, but yeah, that I don't know. I think especially school is just so important, yo. You want these kids to know like basketball opens opportunities and doors, but like if you're not taking advantage of the school stuff, like what happens when basketball's not going on anymore for you, right?
Oh, we appreciate that. That's good for the kids to hear, man. You don't get school done, you're not going to get basketball done. It just goes hand in hand again. So we appreciate that, especially coming from somebody at your level and your prestige. Now, this being a Toben series, what does Toben basketball mean?
When I think of Toben, I think of Tony. like Toben, it's funny, like Tony reached out to me, would have been like 6-7 years ago, maybe, right? And yeah, he told me that he played in these leagues, and if I was interested in playing, and yeah, I was in between jobs, so I was just trying to hoop. And yeah, like I love Tony, I love Toben. I just think it's he creates opportunities for guys to kind of show what they could do, and just like I don't know, like that's hard to come by, especially in Toronto, things like that, right? Where guys can just play and not have to worry about stuff. Like he helps guys get in with the best trainers, gets you in the best gyms, tries to get you in the best competition in the city. So like, big ups to Tony, yo.
Yeah, you kind of answered my next question, but where exactly did you coach Tony meet, if you do remember?
I think the first time I met him was at Hoop Dome.
Okay.
Yeah. So like he hit me up on, I want to say Facebook. We went back and forth a bit like that, and yeah, just met up with him at Hoop Dome, worked out with him a couple times, and started playing.
Then it was just history from there.
Yeah, it just went from there, yo. Yeah.
Okay. So let me give you a little scenario here, Paul. You're playing in a tournament. You got 4+ players, Toben guys. Who are those 4 players you're going to play with?
If I had to choose 4 guys off the top?
4 Toben guys, yeah.
Do they have to be playing still right now, or it doesn't matter?
No, it could be all time. I know you had various guys probably throughout your career playing with Toben.
Yeah, I'd say Felix will be one of my first ones. I always like playing with Felix. Jamil. I'm trying to think. Nabil. Nabil's my guy. Yeah, I messed with Nabil. Yeah, and Din.
And Din?
Ooh.
Yeah.
We can see yours.
I'd roll with those 4 and go from there. Yeah.
Steven, we can see here, depending on the era, that there are common themes throughout the lineup. So that's interesting to see. Now, real quick, give us your most memorable Toben moment.
My most memorable Toben moment. I don't know. There's a few, yo. Like we've had a couple of good games, like a bunch of good games, good opportunities, things like that. I think one of my funnest times with Toben was when we were playing at Glendon in that league over there.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was just a fun season. We were having we had a good group, and I don't know, we were just killing teams and just having fun. So that was good.
Hey, that's the norm.
There you go. That's the normal for Toben, man. But as you touched up on, even the 5 you have, you got you coming from the Toronto area, you got Jamil coming from the Scarborough area, you got Dinjil coming from the York region area, you got Nabil. I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I think he's from East Side as well. You picked Felix as well. That's a Toronto man too. So you got a bunch of West, East, North guys. If there was a game, a battle of the region. If there was a battle of a region and you were on, let's say for the sake of this right now, you were on Team Toronto. You got the York region team, you got the Rexdale team, you got a Jungle team, you got whatever. But we're gonna put you on Team Toronto. Kind of like those anti-beat tournaments back in the day. That's not what they're called, but right?
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, citywide.
Citywide, just like similar like a citywide tournament. Who do you think is coming away with the championship? Matter of fact, I got 2 parts. I got 2 parts. First one, you're not playing. Second one, you are playing.
Okay. Oh, if I'm not playing, I'd probably go with Jungle. I grew up right down the street from Jungle, yo. So like I know a lot of those guys from over there. I know those guys, how hard those guys play, how bad they want it. So yeah, I would go with those guys off the deck. Probably if I had to choose a group straight away.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm playing, I'm going with Team Toronto. Yeah, I'm thinking I'm winning. So
remember, there's still Brampton, there's still Mississauga, there's still Scarborough, there's still like we're talking the whole city.
I feel you, but you asked me if I'm playing. I'm not going in thinking I'm losing. So yeah, nah.
No, okay. We had somebody ask us earlier today. They're like, who has the most NBA players? And we said Mississauga. And he's like, well, I guess I'm gonna rock with those guys then, because
everybody's logic is different.
Everyone's logic is different. So interesting.
I get
it. Now I have another question for you. A quick question for you before we move on to your university career. Where would you position yourself as a big man or a stretch four in the city of Toronto?
Where would I position myself?
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean? Like in like the rankings? You say?
In the rankings for your age group or players that are still playing.
In my age group, I don't know. When I think about guys my age that are still playing, there's not really a lot still playing. You know what I mean? So like, I don't know. I feel like I'm pretty high up there, to be honest with you. Yeah.
I agree. I agree. I just want to see where you put yourself.
Yeah. To me, I've never really been a big guy on rankings because like especially growing up, like I started playing late. So like all these guys that were being all-stars in high school, I was watching like, oh yeah, that'd be cool. But I was just trying to get my feet wet, you know, and try to get in there and make the most of my opportunity. So yeah.
Well, you definitely made the most of your opportunity, man, because out of high school, you chose to go to Hawaii University, one of the first players in your age group or your era to go to Division I. Why did you choose Hawaii?
Oh, well, like a lot of people know, I went to junior college for you before Hawaii. Okay. So like I was at JUCO in Arkansas, and at first I was gonna go to Winthrop University. I committed, and I had signed. And the coach at the time was Greg Marshall. He coaches at Wichita State now. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure. Or nah, he was at I'm not sure if he's still there now.
I don't think he's still there.
Yeah, but he was the coach at Winthrop, and he left. And I met the new coach, and I didn't really. He wanted me to redshirt and sit out a year, and I wanted to play. So I kind of just opened up my stuff again, and I visited Hawaii, and kind of just went from there. Like, go to Hawaii. I don't know. My parents are Jamaican, so like going over there and being in the warm weather, stuff like that, it felt easy. To be honest with you, and yeah, it seemed like a good situation team-wise as well.
That's completely fair. But I now that we know you went JUCO, both Devontae and myself went JUCO as well. So you're a JUCO product. Give us your quick take on the perspectives that people have on JUCO and your perspective. You know, either going in and afterwards.
I think a lot of people look at JUCO like it's a step down sometimes, and I think it's the furthest thing from that. To be honest with you, like a lot of guys that go JUCO, it's just something. There could have been different bumps along the road that just affected their opportunity. You know what I mean? So like, to me, I went to JUCO and I was playing with four guys in the starting lineup. All of them were Division I players, right? It's just we all were just at JUCO at the time. And the thing I loved about JUCO is that everyone had a chip on their shoulder. Everyone felt like we shouldn't be here. So we're trying to get out of here, and we're going to show everyone what we could do to get out of here, kind of thing. So, yeah, no, it was cool. I love JUCO.
Now, when you transferred to Hawaii, and you went there as a junior or a sophomore?
As a sophomore. I only did 1 year at JUCO. Yeah.
Okay. So you go to Hawaii as a sophomore. What were your expectations going into Hawaii that year?
I wanted to start, to be honest with you. Like, we had 5 seniors that year, or 5 or 6. And I wanted to start. I only ended up playing maybe I don't know, 5 minutes a game that first year. So that was frustrating coming from you're playing 30 minutes a game at JUCO, and then you come over here and you're watching, right? So that was a bit of adjustment for me mentally, just trying to stay focused and upbeat. But like we had real good coaches around us at our school, like Larry Farmer. He used to coach at UCLA. Aron Ganat, he's the head coach of Hawaii now. So like guys like that just kind of helped me keep my my head in the right place and stay focused, and like knew when like opportunity will come up. Like you never really know what can happen. So yeah, just I stayed ready, and then, yeah, it worked out fine. So.
And I love that word, man, staying ready, because even people like Jeremy Lin, Jeremy Lin was about to get cut right before. We all know the story about Lin's sanity from there. So even people like when we hear from on the podcast, they stayed ready. They had a great season. They're able to get back into shape, and they're able to start cooking again. that is what people need to start hearing, bro. So shout out to you for staying ready, never giving up. But I want to ask you though, other than your minute, what was the difference of JUCO and university?
I think just the workload. School, I think like the school-wise workload was a bit different. Like don't get me wrong, JUCO, I had some classes that were tough, but like I went from taking like basic stuff to going to Hawaii and having like calculus, accounting, and like it was just wrapping your head around all that stuff. And then you have to go to class, you have to go to practice. We got weights 7 a.m., 6:30 in the morning, right? Yeah. It's like it's a full-time job. I think guys kind of look at it sometimes like it's real glamorous, and like don't get me wrong, there's a lot of fun stuff to it, but it's a grind as well, yo. You gotta come ready to work, bro. So you're not gonna be doing much.
No, for sure. Let me know, what was your favorite Hawaii moment, Hawaii basketball moment?
My favorite Hawaii basketball moment was it's probably when we played. I got two. My first one was probably when we played Illinois at our place. They were ranked that year, so we ended up beating them at our place in a close game. And I'm trying to remember the guy's name, the coach at the time. I just remember how mad he was because we played them the year before, and he talked so much garbage when we lost to them at their place. So our coach kind of took that personally when they came back to our place. So to beat them and kind of see him being real smug and not saying anything felt real satisfying for our group. You know what I mean? that was like cool. That. And yeah, and then probably my next one would be when we played College of Charleston. We played them on ESPN. And yeah, we had a real good game. I think we beat them by double digits. I had a good game. And yeah, no, it was just real nice, yo.
Give us a moment, basketball or non-basketball, that you wish never happened at Hawaii.
At Hawaii that I wish never happened?
Like why during your time at Hawaii, give us a moment that you wish never happened.
You know what, y'all? I'm not really big on like wishing for things not to happen. You know what I mean? Because like all the experiences kind of shaped where I got to now. You know what I mean? So at the time there was things where I was like, oh, okay, like I wish this wasn't happening. But when I reflect on it later, I'm glad it happened because it kind of made me the person I am now, and I'm happy who I am now. So like, yeah, there's not really anything where I'm just like, yeah, I didn't want it to happen. To be honest with you.
Fair enough. I thought maybe one of those like a story or something that you like, damn, I missed, not missed, but I went out the night before, you know what I'm saying? Went out the night before, I had to have a 6 a.m. practice, couldn't run the practice or whatever.
No, I got one for you then. It was more of a game situation. We were playing University of Nevada, and they were like a big conference rival. And I feel like we were down 1, right? With like maybe like 8 seconds left. And like this is a game for us where it's like if we win the game, we're like top 4 in the standings for the conference. Mm-hmm. So it gives us just a better seating going into the conference tournament. You know what I mean? And they had a real good guard at the time. What was his name? Armand Johnson. Mm-hmm. Right? And yeah, he drove to the lane and he missed the shot. We came down the court, had a chance to win. Our guy shot it, and I had a chance to tip it in to win the game, and I missed. So that always bugged me. That would have been the one right there, probably. Yeah. So
that's fair.
Yeah.
Well, after your 3 years at Hawaii, you know, what are some things you could take away that made you a better person? You touched on it earlier saying that you don't really like to look at the negatives. So what are some things you could share with us, you know, that Hawaii and being away from home and all that taught you?
Just helped me grow, yo. Like you get used to people like doing things for you when you're a teenager. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, your mom will cook your meals sometimes, right? Your parents help you with your laundries. You get comfortable when you're at home. So like going away to Hawaii and being on my own, like I had to learn to cook. I had to learn to like, I don't know. I didn't even have my license when I went to school. You grow up in the city, you're taking the bus everywhere, right? So like I'm going over there and public transportation is not like public transportation in Toronto. Mm-hmm. So like figuring out how to drive, all these little things like that. So it was an adjustment, you know, for sure. Yeah.
No, that's so true. But you're currently playing in Australia. Which part of Australia are you in?
I'm in Tasmania. So it's like, I don't know if you guys know where Tasmania is. Like Australia, we got like the mainland of Australia, and then Tasmania is an island beneath the rest of Australia, pretty much.
How far is that from Sydney? Isn't that on the other side?
No, so that? Tasmania, it'd be like, it's below it. So it'd be like maybe a 2-hour flight, I want to say.
Okay.
Yeah, so not too bad. Yeah.
Yeah, I had 3 Australians on my team when I was at Albany, so that's always interesting. But they're all over. But
Yeah.
where else have you been? Where else have you played pro basketball besides Australia?
Well, like I played in Canada, in the NBL Canada, back when they had Oshawa Power.
Okay.
I played for them. Yeah. I played for I did a bunch of random tours, like went to China, went to France, went to Guatemala.
Okay.
I played in Kosovo for 2 months, but I didn't get paid, so I don't really count that one. And then I'm trying to that's pretty much it. Then in Australia. Yeah.
Okay. With all that being said, give us the trials and tribulations of becoming a pro.
Okay, well, I don't know. I think kind of comes back to the same as I was saying before with the university stuff. Like, it seems real glamorous when you're signing contracts and you're taking pictures and that team stuff, but it's a grind, yo. Even when I was playing for Oshawa Power, I was living in Toronto, and I was a local player. So they had their American guys that were living over there, and I was taking a go bus to Oshawa every morning at 6 a.m. I did that for half a year. Right, so I would do that every day. Yeah, pretty much every day. Yeah, for practices and games and all that stuff like that. And I don't know, I just wanted to hoop. So I was I'm gonna make the most of it and just do what I can so I can get my name out there.
Well, it looks like it paid off in the end. But speaking of of that kind of concept, other than money, what do you think athletes stress about the most being a pro?
Well, that's a good question. I think just looking after their bodies. You know what I mean? And I don't know. I think as an athlete too, obviously you guys want to play. You guys want to, get the most opportunities for themselves because everyone wants to showcase their talents, right? This is what guys work for, right? So I think that would probably be something that would stress guys a lot. Am I going to play a lot tonight? If I play bad, how is that going to affect my situation, right? Because confidence can go up and down when you're playing, right? So you want to keep yourself in a good mind frame to just kind of do your thing.
No, that's better. I like the way you put that together. That's good for people to hear. So, how many years do you think you'll be able to play at a competitive level now? You're at a stagnant level right now. You're at a very solidified level. How many years do you think this will go on for? Or speak it into existence. What I'm trying to ask.
I got you. It's funny, right? Because be honest, my body feels really good. I broke my foot last year, and that was pretty frustrating. But my season got canceled because of COVID. So it gave me a chance. Yeah, exactly. So it kind of worked out for me. So I just took the year to kind of make sure my body was in a really good place, and I was good mentally. And now, I'm having a good year, and our team is top of the ladder in the league over here in Australia. So no, it's just really fun, Just I don't know, maybe 3. I think I could at least get 4 more years. To be honest with you, 3-4 more years. The way my body feels right now, just staying consistent with my routine, and then eating well, things like that, and I think I'll be fine.
Okay. Before we like to conclude.
Sorry, Devo. But Paul, I got one question for you before we do conclude. But you touched up on it a second ago, saying that you broke your foot and then the season was postponed due to COVID. I know that in Australia the timelines of the weather is different. So right now I think it is winter time for you guys, or getting to winter time, if I'm not mistaken.
It's winter right now. Yeah.
So technically, wouldn't you guys be going to season right now?
Say again?
Wouldn't you guys be going into season right now, or does it matter when you guys play all year round?
Yeah, so our season started in I'd want to say the beginning of fall, the tail end of summer, beginning of fall. So we played 10 games. It's funny, over here, because I play in 2 leagues, yo. So I play in NBL 1, and that's the national league for Australia. It's NBL's G League essentially. So I play in NBL 1. And then I play in the Tasmanian League as well. Okay. So that one started. The Tasmanian League started back in February, and then NBL 1 started in April.
The reason why I'm asking is because I'm curious. We never asked any of our guests this question. When you were still out in Australia, and because of COVID, were you still getting paid during that time, or did they shut everything down completely?
So okay. No, that is a good question. So the thing was, I broke my foot, so I wasn't even playing. So over here, I get paid game to game over here.
Oh shoot!
Yeah, so it's a game thing over here because I'm a local now. So locals get paid on a game to game basis, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was getting paid game to game. So once I got hurt, it was what can we do kind of thing. Right,
That's
but like I
crazy.
work. I got I have my own business. I have a training company over here, and I work with special need kids at a local high school as well. So I'm not tripping. Yeah.
That's what's up.
He got it. It's not like he got it figured out. We need to learn from him. It's not like he got it figured out. But Paul, we always like to conclude our show with a game called In a Perfect World, right? So I'm gonna put you through a scenario here, and you're basically just gonna fill in the blanks. Don't mind me and Steven on our phones during this session. We like to put money on the line right now, depending on how you answer. Don't feel convicted. You answer how you want to answer.
I got you. All right, let's do it.
So you're back in high school. Correct me again if I'm wrong. You do your 4 years at Northview.
Yeah,
right?
Northview, yeah.
Yep, at Northview. You do what you got to do. You're a 5-star recruit. You have every school in the country. Obviously, you cannot pick Hawaii. Which school would you go to? And give us a little spiel why. No, that's not picking that.
All right. It's funny. Like when I was in high school, my dream school to go to was Michigan State. Yeah. So I would have wanted. I just loved how hard they played. I think I loved just the energy of the team. Tom Izzo, I feel like playing for a guy like that, you'd want to just run through a wall for him and just play as hard as you could, kind of thing. So yeah, no, I was real big on Michigan State. And it was close to home too. So I was like, my parents could come. Yeah.
Okay. So you have Izzo. You are a Spartan, right? You're at the end of the season. You're all Big Ten freshman team. We'll even give you Rookie of the Year, right?
Okay.
In the Big Ten. I don't even know if that's an award for rookies, but you're on first team all Big Ten. You're on freshman first team. There it is.
There you go.
And then you guys go to March Madness. Essentially, you do what you got to do. You're now in the top selection of lottery picks. You're going to be one of the first 14 guys. And you know how it works. You can't pick where you want to go in the lottery, but you definitely could verbally, I like this facility, you could verbally go up and down the channels depending on how you answer. Which NBA team would you go to?
If I could just choose an NBA team off the top, that's a good question. Yeah. I'm not sure, to be honest with you. I guess if I just had to choose off the top, back then I was a big Kevin Garnett fan, So if I could have went to Boston and learned from him, that'd have been cool. Yeah.
I like this. Okay, so you stay in green. I see Hawaii. I see Michigan State. Now, okay, we stay in green and white. I like it. All right. But I was a big kid. Correct me if I'm wrong, Steve. That's your favorite player, no?
Yeah, KG. Yeah. All right, there you go. All right.
That's mine too.
Right. That's the guy, yo.
So I'm seeing
anything is possible.
There you go.
So you're at Boston, right? And in this perfect world, you finish your rookie contract. You are now the franchise player, right? Forget Tatum. Forget Brown. Definitely forget Walker after today. Forget Walker after today. So you're that franchise player now. And I think Boston's actually decent with taxes, right? You have the ability to pick 2 players in the NBA to lure them over to be a Celtics. Here's the rules. The first player has to be a rookie or a sophomore, so first or second year, and the other player has to be third and above. Who are those 2 players that you would like to play with you? Not necessarily complement your game, but you are in this lineup, right? Not just players you like to watch. They're going to complement your game. You want to win a championship. Oh yeah, Steven has. Yeah, that's what I would do.
This is a hard. You guys are just throwing out the questions. Yeah, that's a hard one.
In a perfect world.
Yeah, no, I feel you. In a perfect world. If I'm thinking, I'd have to get a good point guard. So if I'm thinking point guards like, Damian Lillard would probably be the point guard I would take. Like, because just his shot creating ability. He's still a great passer, things like that. So yeah, I would go with him. And then you said a guy that's a rookie,
first or second, sophomore. You're not picking that. You're picking. Damn.
Keep picking the other guy.
Is Shea first or second year? He's second year. Is Shea second year? He's third year.
He's third year.
He's third year now.
I'd probably go with Nah. To be honest with you, I like his game a lot.
Wow.
That's only our
If I had to choose a second-year guy, I've watched him. I remember seeing him play when he was like a young guy, because he's my like you guys know Karan and Din, like that's their cousin, right?
Yeah.
So like I remember seeing him back in the day when he was a kid, and then to see where he's at now. Yeah, that's a no-brainer. I go with him.
Hey, Paul, sorry to cut you off, but you brought him up just now. I was telling Devontae when we had Denjo on the show, I was telling Devontae about how nice Q used to be back in the day, bro.
Oh, Cran was the man. I don't think a lot of people realize how nice Cran was. Like, if I feel like if this guy's grades had been on point, he would have been a Division I player easily. He was a bucket, and he was doing this. I remember he was on the senior team in high school in grade 9. Cran was nice. He's still nice. Like,
see what I said about it? I guarantee you right now, if you were to lace up the shoes and say, "Yo, we're gonna go hoop," you're still gonna give buckets, bro.
I know. If I haven't seen Cran play for at least a few years, and I know he still has that turnaround jumper. So yeah, that's easy money for him.
Shout out Karan, man. Shout out Karan. But hey, Paul, we asked all of our guests this question to finish off the show, and we want to ask you as well. Who is someone that you'd like to see on Talk Your Exposure? But here's the kicker, though. You have to help us get them on, excluding Toben members. We have all that lined up.
If I had to just any basketball player off the top,
any basketball player that you can help us get, or anybody that you think would be good for the show.
You guys know Jason Hannibal?
We had him on the show already.
You had him on already. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, that's my guy. I like Jason. Trying to think who else. Rob Nortman, you had him on there too? No, so Rob's an interesting guy because he went the whole CIS route. He's played pro in Germany. He's been all over the world, really, a little bit with the basketball stuff. He only just finished playing pro in Germany maybe a few months ago. He just had a baby. Yeah, good guy. Yeah. So yeah, he'd be a good guy to talk to just about just resilience. Because he's another guy where I know he wasn't like a highly recruited guy out of high school. And he just grinded. And he's made a career out of it, and he's still hooping. So I got a lot of respect for Rob.
Well, we like hearing stories like that on the show, man, because we like to hear people, grind from the mud and make their money, when it's nice and dry. So definitely somebody that we like to talk to. And if you can hook that up for us, bro, we definitely appreciate that. Hey, Paul, we want to ask you, where can we find you on social media?
I'm not a huge social media person, but I'm on Instagram. So IMPC87, I'm on there. Check out Northwest Thunder on Instagram. We're still hooping. We're number one in the league, in our league right now. So we're just trying to keep it going. We feel real good about our team this year. So yeah, check out Northwest Thunder on Instagram for sure.
There we go. We'll definitely give Northwest Thunder a follow on our Instagram page. But hey, Paul, we want to thank you again for your time, and we want to remind everybody that's listening to this show right now. Make sure you guys go and subscribe to RWI Basketball on YouTube. Hit the subscribe button, turn on your notifications. Also subscribe to us under Talk Your Exposure on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, or wherever you find your podcast, on all social media streams. These are episodes you guys do not want to miss. The Toben series has been a very, very, very fun series for myself included. I know Devontae's been wearing the jersey. Out of the 15 episodes that we've had, he's worn it 14 times. So, shout out to Devontae for
Sorry, Ninja. Sorry.
Shout out to Devontae for wearing the Toben series, even though he just beat them this past weekend at the All the Smoke tournament. But one more time again, if anybody or if you guys listen to this episode, please make sure you guys check us out. Turn on your notifications, subscribe to our channels. And of course, if you feel the need, if you're feeling a little needy, feeling a little giving, give a little donation. You guys can go check us out on the Talk Your Exposure on the Instagram page in our link tree for all of that information as well. Paul, one more time, man, we want to stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you very much for your time. Go keep killing, keep that #1 spot, win a championship, and bring that shit back home to Canada, man.
Appreciate it, yo. Thanks again for having me, yo. I love what you guys are doing.
Thank you, man.